What's up, guys? It's Rob. We have a very old MTX Audio 6x9 speaker here. It has definitely seen better days, but honestly, these speakers are awesome if you've never heard of these or heard them just in general through back in the day. These are actually some really nice sounding speakers in my opinion, especially for just being a stock replacement speaker. But there's a little tear in the surround right here, if you guys can see that. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix that if this happens to your speakers from old age, and how to make them sound like brand new, because the bass performance with that's going to be like shit. And a friend of mine, he buys and sells a lot of car audio stuff, and he's trying to sell these, so I'm helping him out fixing the speaker. And I figured that this could be an awesome way to show you guys how to do it and make a great video. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we're going to be getting started here, and we're going to use this Simply Speaker adhesive. I've used this stuff before. I've used it on dust caps, and actually doing the same thing right here. We're actually going to flip the speaker around so it's over here on your side. As you guys see, we adjusted the camera angle just a little bit here just to make it a little bit better for you guys. But we got a couple of tools here. We're probably not going to use most of these, but we have a couple of different picks here of different shapes, just depending on trying to pick this up or keep this in place, depending on what we're doing. We also have a set of needle nose pliers. Sometimes it helps, mostly on subs, to be able to pick this up right here and then hold it. With this, we're probably not going to be using those, to be honest, but we got them. And then we have a little panel tool, because with these edges right here, we're going to have to go in, tuck these, and hold it. So it's good for that too. We're going to be doing the edges first, which is honestly the hardest part, and then work our way in here to the middle. But because we got a little bend right here, it makes doing the edges kind of a bitch. But it's not too bad, and I could say that now because apparently YouTube's demonetizing everybody that's under 1,000 subs, which is ridiculous. But I was finally starting to make money on YouTube, and then YouTube comes along and they're like, yeah, no, bro. But either way, without my ranting, and we also got just a little paper towel here just to wipe my hands with if I happen to get this glue on there, because it is extremely sticky. Holy shit, that was on there tight. Now we're just going to take a little pick. Just come in here just a little bit, make sure there's no glue, just hanging out on the edge there. So with a lot of speakers, the surround is either going to be on top of this little piece of metal right here or meeting right up into it. On this speaker, it just happens to be meeting right up into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this back just a little bit. We don't want to start separating more glue, but we're just going to pull this back just a tiny bit and apply some glue right in here to the inside edge, just a little bit. Now what we're going to do, put this on a paper towel. We're going to take our little pick tool, kind of push this down on in here just a little bit better, make sure it's all rubbed around in there, and make sure we got it all. Now we want to wipe this off, which is why I have a towel here, because it makes it very easy to do that. We want to wipe that off because got a little bit of fuzz on there. Pull that off. Now we want to start really positioning this to getting it to stick. And we just kind of want to go around with it just a little bit there. We want to hold that. Same on this side. Get it into place. And then push. Shit, that one's getting sticky already. Once the pick tools start getting sticky, definitely gets a little bit harder to work with there. So we're just going to sit here, hold this just for a few minutes now, and then we can go along and do this middle area and really just start to work our way inward. As this tacks up a little bit, sometimes you can kind of start pushing in the middle just a little bit here, and that'll cause the more of the middle to be enclosed with the glue. And then we're going to be going through with one of these picks and scratching off just a little bit of excess glue that's here on the top, just so you don't see it, just so it looks brand new from the factory, like we never had to repair. So now we've started pushing out towards the middle just a little bit more. We're going to try to get this all in one shot, since it is a pretty small area. This last little bit I don't think we'll be able to get. just doesn't want to go in really. I don't think, maybe I just didn't get enough glue there or something, but it's starting to tack up already, especially here on the edges where we've been able to apply, that little bit of extra pressure. So that little bit of pressure makes the world's difference when doing something like this, just to really keep it in place, keeping it held there. All right, so as you guys see, if we remove our fingers, we really have this, it's still kind of tacky as you guys see, but we have the speaker starting to really take its natural shape again. So I want to see if we could do something on this one. No, we can't. See, right here with the holes in the speaker, if it was like a spot right here where I could fit my finger through, it's very helpful to be able to push the surround and kind of hold it outward and pull outwards with your two fingers, one on top, one on bottom. But because these holes are oh, I can fit my pinky in there. Maybe that'll work. Never done it with my pinkies before, but maybe I'll be able to pull that out, be able to get a little bit better of a seal, just to make sure that this isn't going to come undone over time. It's just one of those little tricks over time that I found kind of help when doing something like this. So we're just going to drop just a little bit more glue down on in there, and then make sure we spread that around. Get it through the whole length of the surround that is still not glued. And we're going to try that pinky technique. See if, I don't think that pinky technique's going to work. Maybe. Yeah, pinky technique is working. So now we're just going to take this, we're going to hold it there, and then make sure all of this glue dries so it is nice and strong. So now really the rest of the process is just sitting here and holding this fucking thing for a while. Now I would really recommend when you're doing something like this on a surround where you're really going to have to be holding it, depending on the situation, sometimes you can use clamps or you can do something, and it's something like this with such a small area, there's really nothing else we can do besides just sitting here and holding it. But on the bright side, this stuff really starts to harden after about 5 minutes. So we're only going to be here essentially like 5 minutes holding this thing. It just kind of sucks. I wish I would have set my laptop up or something to watch some fucking videos or do something while I do this, guys. Alright guys, so now that the glue is done setting, this is not 100% dry and ready to be playing. I would definitely recommend, if you're doing this to your own speakers, to wait at least 24 to 36 hours before playing this speaker, just to make sure the glue is 100% dry. Although you might be able to move it and touch it, to be able to play, especially at a full volume, you wouldn't want to be doing that. And now what we're going through is trying to scratch this glue up and get it as close to the surround as possible, and just kind of scratch it forward so it doesn't leave marks on the outside here. Now, we've gotten most of it. We just got to go through this last little bit. I did some off camera, I was just sitting here kind of chilling, enjoying it. But now that we started getting more of it done, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to come through as close as we can without pushing a hole through this, because it's always better to do when it's still a little bit tacky like this, so you can move it and actually pick it up. Now we're going to be getting in there and then scraping a little bit and then lifting up. And as you guys are seeing, it's coming up right there just a little bit. It's going to come up in little pieces, which is why we don't want to use a lot of glue when doing this. Every time you pick up a new piece, I would definitely recommend wiping it off so it doesn't get back in there and just kind of create a bigger lump, because then that's just going to be even more that you have to scrape off. Again, just go through and scratch. We did rip that slightly there, so we're going to have to go through, re-glue that part. And if you slightly rip it or something like that, it's not the end of the world. You're just going to have to go through and just re-glue that little spot. Which is what we're going to have to do here, which is why I'm just kind of manhandling it a little bit right there. So now we got all of the glue cleaned up here. There's a little tiny bit of like a white streak going through here, but this stuff dries, like when it's actually all said and done, drying pretty clear. So we're just going to go through, get a little bit more of this up if possible. And I mean, like, if you're just throwing these in your doors, you don't have to go through and do all of this. But whenever I fix, like, a customer sub at the shop, or, like, this one, for example, this one's getting sold, I'm going to go through and do that. We're actually going to take the pliers here to pick up a little piece right there. And I actually just took up a big chunk of that, which was wonderful. We're going to actually try to do that again. I never did that. But as you see, we're coming along nicely. We just have to redo this one little area right in here. And like most of that is even still glued. But shit, I gotta reopen this fucking thing. Ah, shit. So now we're just going to get it directly on our pick. Just because with such a small spot like this, no matter what, we would end up making a mess trying to get in here. We get just a little bit more. I'm going to be doing the same thing, tucking that in, and then here we're able to just push right here, which is very nice. You can just push this little bit, and then after we're done pushing here, we should be all done. We shouldn't really have to pick up too much glue off of this right here because of how little we use. So we're just going to hold this here just for another few minutes, and I'll check back with you guys after it's all dry. Alright guys, so we went through, we repaired the sub. We got a little bit more glue right there that I just applied that we have to pick up, but I'm going to let this set just for a little bit, so I don't have to worry about it peeling back at the surround anymore. But either way, we have a fully functional speaker again. It's going to sound awesome. I know it is. I kind of want to actually power this up before I get rid of it and give it back to the guy who has it. But I don't know, maybe we'll be doing that. Definitely not for this video. I don't know. It's kind of just something I like to hear. I've only heard the speaker once, and man, they sound awesome. Especially for being just a stock replacement speaker. This thing sounds amazing. Primitive technology, but man, it sounds good. This is Rob, and I'm out. Peace, guys. I hope you enjoyed.
I got my own weed, sucker, so I ain't gotta hit yours. I'm talking straight endo. Cali weed blowing like a Rastaman. Good seed straight from